You don't.
Not about to let my little bro f the money out.
I know that.
I love him. And
I know that.
Keep them back. Cause they gonna give him like 200, 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole plan.
NBA Youngboy just exposed how evil Birdman really is and how he's been low-key robbing him without anybody knowing. Behind Birdman's father figure persona, he was running a calculated scheme that ultimately led to one of the most heartbreaking exposés in hip-hop history. The shocking truth behind what brought their relationship crashing down is darker than anyone imagined, and we're about to reveal it all. Yo, what's good, fam? We about to dive deep into some real industry politics that's been shaking up the hip-hop community. This ain't just another beef story. This is about manipulation, broken promises, and a young artist finally speaking his truth. Now, before we get into this wild ride, let me keep it 100 with y'all. Social media been buzzing about NBA Youngboy's track Tears of War, where he called out Birdman for allegedly using him. But yo, we about to separate the facts from the fiction, the real from the fake. June 9th, 2024. That's the date that changed everything for NBA Youngboy and exposed one of hip-hop's most powerful figures. This Louisiana rapper was under house arrest in Utah fighting federal charges when he dropped a 6-minute confession that shook the entire culture to its core. Now, hold up before y'all start thinking this is just typical rap beef with diss tracks and social media drama. This situation runs way deeper than that. We're talking about a young artist who trusted someone like a father, only to discover he was being played the whole time. But here's where it gets real spicy. Birdman's been accused of running this same playbook before, and his biggest victim was none other than Lil Wayne. So, check it. Around 2018, NBA Youngboy was one of the hottest young rappers in the game, but he was also catching case after case. Atlantic Records didn't know what to do with him. They had this incredibly talented artist who was breaking streaming records, but his legal troubles made him a liability. That's when Birdman swooped in like a guardian angel. Now, in the industry, we know that when a legend like Birdman, the man who built Cash Money Records into a billion-dollar empire, shows interest in you, that's supposed to be a blessing. But Youngboy's situation was different because Birdman wasn't just offering a business deal. He was selling the dream of family, mentorship, and unconditional support. Birdman had the perfect pitch. He'd turned Lil Wayne from a kid in the projects into one of the greatest rappers alive. He'd helped build Drake into a global superstar. He'd made Nicki Minaj the queen of rap. When he told Youngboy, "You're gonna be the biggest thing in hip-hop," it wasn't just hype, it was a prophecy backed by decades of success. For a young cat from Baton Rouge who'd been through more trauma than most grown men, Birdman's offer was everything he needed. Youngboy had lost people close to him, survived shootings, and was navigating the music industry without real guidance. When Birdman positioned himself as a father figure offering protection and wisdom, Youngboy believed every word. Their first collaboration, We Poppin', showed real chemistry. When they announced their joint project From the Bayou in 2018, it felt like the perfect marriage of Louisiana legends. The OG passing the torch to the next generation. Birdman was out here publicly defending Youngboy, calling him the future of rap, and promising to help him navigate the industry's treacherous waters. But yo, this is where the story gets deeper than just a mentor-protege relationship. See, while Birdman was talking all this family love publicly, behind the scenes, things weren't adding up. The real kicker, though, Lil Wayne had been trying to warn Youngboy. On his 2020 track, Multiple Flows, Wayne dropped a line that should have been a red flag. "And I had told Youngboy to watch out for old head." That wasn't just a random bar. That was a real one trying to prevent another young soldier from falling into the same trap that almost destroyed his own career. For y'all who might not understand the significance of that warning, let me explain. Lil Wayne and Birdman's relationship followed the exact same pattern. It started with love, mentorship, and promises of building an empire together. Wayne called Birdman his father. They had matching tattoos. Birdman adopted Wayne's kids as his own grandchildren. But when it came time for Wayne to get what he was owed, everything changed. Wayne sued Birdman and Cash Money Records for $51 million in unpaid royalties. The lawsuit revealed a pattern of withheld payments, delayed album releases, and broken promises. The man Wayne had loved like a father had allegedly been playing him the whole time, using emotional manipulation to keep control while pocketing millions that should have gone to the artist who built his empire. Now, this ain't just about one artist's experience. This is about a systematic approach to exploiting young talent. Birdman's playbook is simple but effective. Find hungry young artists with raw talent, offer them mentorship and family when they're vulnerable, get them emotionally invested in the relationship, then use that emotional connection to maintain control control while the money situation gets murky. The street's been talking about this pattern for years, but nobody wanted to believe it because Birdman's success stories were so visible. Yeah, he helped build superstars, but at what cost? And more importantly, who really benefited the most from those relationships? When From the Bayou finally dropped in December 2021 after multiple delays, real ones noticed something off. It felt more like a Youngboy solo project with Birdman's name attached than a true collaboration. Birdman's presence was minimal, but his name was on the credits, which meant he was getting paid off Youngboy's work. But here's where it gets interesting. According to industry insiders, Birdman essentially got Youngboy from Atlantic Records for free. Mike Kaiser, an executive at Atlantic, basically handed Youngboy over to Birdman when the young rapper was facing serious federal charges. Atlantic thought Youngboy's career was over, so they cut their losses. Birdman saw an opportunity. In a conversation with DJ Academics, Birdman bragged about how he would have paid $10 to $20 million for Youngboy, but Atlantic just gave him away. They was tired of him, Birdman said. That's some cold-blooded business right there. Let that sink in for a minute.
You don't not about to let my little bro the money out.
I know that.
I love him. And
I know that.
Keep this back. Cause they gonna give him like 200, 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole plan.
While Birdman was telling Youngboy he loved him like a son, he was celebrating getting him for free like he'd just scored a discount at a clearance sale. Real talk. That's not how you talk about family. That's how you talk about a business transaction. And that's exactly what Youngboy was to Birdman, a valuable asset, not a son. As 2022 and 2023 rolled around, Youngboy started seeing through the facade. The promises that sounded so sweet in the beginning started feeling hollow. The father figure love that had drawn him in was beginning to feel like manipulation. And most devastating of all, the unconditional support he thought he could count on was revealing itself to be anything but unconditional. For those who know the culture, this type of betrayal cuts deeper than any street beef. This wasn't about money or territory. This was about trust, loyalty, and family. Youngboy had opened his heart to someone he believed genuinely cared about him, only to discover he was just another chess piece in Birdman's game. By April 2024, Youngboy had reached his breaking point. The feds had just raided his house in Utah. He was facing serious charges, and the one person who was supposed to have his back was nowhere to be found when it really mattered. That's when he recorded Tears of War, the last track he made before his arrest. The real tea that got everybody shook was how raw and vulnerable Youngboy was on this track. This wasn't your typical diss record with aggressive bars and threats. This was pure pain, disappointment, and heartbreak. When Youngboy rapped about how Stunna never really loved him and how he should have listened to Carter, Lil Wayne, you could hear the hurt in his voice. That line hit different because it represented Youngboy finally admitting he'd been outmaneuvered by a veteran who'd been playing these games for decades. He was publicly acknowledging that Wayne had tried to warn him, but he'd been too caught up in the promises and potential to really hear what the OG was trying to tell him. In the hood, we know that admitting you were wrong takes a different kind of strength. In a culture where showing weakness can get you labeled as soft, Youngboy was willing to put his emotions on display and admit he'd been played. That's real vulnerability right there. The track exposed how Birdman had allegedly dangled lucrative deals in front of Youngboy without following through. It revealed how the veteran had inserted himself into Youngboy's personal life, overstepping boundaries and using emotional manipulation to maintain control. It painted a picture of someone who was using his position and reputation to exploit a younger artist, the same pattern Wayne had experienced years earlier. Now, let's talk about Birdman's response, or lack thereof. Instead of coming back with the typical aggressive counterattack that characterizes most rap beefs, Birdman chose to stay quiet. That silence spoke volumes. Either the accusations were too accurate for comfort, or the veteran recognized that engaging would only make the situation worse. But yo, this situation isn't just about Youngboy and Birdman. This is about the exploitation that happens in the music industry every single day. Young artists, especially those from difficult backgrounds, are vulnerable to manipulation by industry veterans who know exactly what to say and how to position themselves. The pattern is always the same. Find artists when they're young, hungry, and vulnerable. people, offer them something they desperately need, whether it's money, guidance, or emotional support. Get them to trust you completely. Then use that trust to maintain control while the financial arrangements benefit you more than them. For people who haven't been keeping up with industry politics, this type of exploitation is more common than you think. The music business has always been built on taking advantage of artists who don't understand the game. The difference is that now, with social media and platforms like YouTube, artists can speak directly to their fans and expose what's really happening behind the scenes. Youngboy's willingness to call out Birdman publicly served as a wake-up call for other young artists who might be in similar situations. It demonstrated the importance of having real ones around you who can spot game being run on you even when you're too close to the situation to see it clearly. The real question is, how many other artists has Birdman done this to? We know about Wayne, we know about Youngboy, but how many others are out there who haven't spoken up? How many young artists got chewed up and spit out by this system before they could even reach their potential? At the end of the day, Youngboy's situation isn't just about one bad business relationship. It's about power, loyalty, consequences, and the price young artists pay when they trust the wrong people. It's about how the music industry continues to exploit vulnerable talent while hiding behind words like mentorship and family. Now, here's the twist that nobody saw coming. By August 2025, Youngboy and Birdman had reconciled. They squashed their beef, and Birdman even joined Youngboy on his Make America Slime Again tour. Some people saw this as a beautiful redemption story. Others saw it as Youngboy being pulled back into the same cycle that hurt him in the first place. The reconciliation raises important questions. Did Birdman actually change his ways, or did he just smooth talk his way back into Youngboy's life? Is this a genuine second chance, or is history about to repeat itself? Only time will tell. But here's what we know for sure. Youngboy's Tears of War exposed a pattern of behavior that goes way beyond one relationship. It shed light on how the music industry operates and how young artists get taken advantage of by people they trust. Whether the reconciliation works out or not, that truth is already out there, and it can't be taken back. The real question is, what happens next? Will other artists start speaking up about their experiences? Will the industry finally start holding powerful figures accountable for how they treat young talent? Or will this just be another cautionary tale that gets forgotten until the next artist gets played? What are your thoughts on Youngboy's situation and Birdman's pattern of behavior? Do you think the reconciliation was genuine? Or is Youngboy setting himself up for more heartbreak? Share your thoughts in the comments and make sure you're subscribed, because we're going to keep bringing you the real stories behind the headlines. The culture needs to know the truth, and we're not going to stop exposing it. Stay solid, fam. And remember, not everybody who calls you family really got your best interests at heart. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones playing you the hardest. That's the real lesson from this whole situation. Peace.